With Destination Newry's morning programme, joined at this time every week by Peter Maxwell from the Newry branch of the Inland Waterways Association of Ireland. And Peter, you are enormously, as always, welcome.
Oh, thanks, Rowan. Always good to see you.
Well, now, sure, we go back a wee bit now.
Oh, yes, indeed.
The longevity begins to build into the system there for us. So we have things, you've been out on the work on the Inland Waterway, and it's important just to remind people it's the oldest summit canal in the United Kingdom.
That's right, it is indeed.
1742.
1742, the first boat came through it.
My goodness. Yes. And the thing was excavated by hand, almost.
Oh, it had to be done by hand, yes. No steam shovels even in those days. No.
And as I recall, elements of the military were used as well in doing it.
There was talk of using military personnel, but I don't know whether it ever actually occurred. But certainly, because they were short of labour.
Yes.
Which seems a strange thing.
Yeah, because yes, the people were lots of people around and needing food and needing activity, you know. Yeah. But anyway, it was done. And it was done to take the coal from the mines at Coal Island down to Newry, and then latterly it was taking coal from England back into Northern Ireland, which is interesting in itself. Now you've been working on the locks. We've seen the work of building up the locks. We've blocking them to see to what extent rainfall would cause flooding. This is one of those locks. Hold with that, Andrew, if you would stay there with that. Yeah. Is that a recent one?
No, this is just after construction.
Yeah.
This is the height we're taking it up to, just between 3 foot and 3'6".
So you've had rain this week second to none. It's like the flood.
Yeah, well, it started a couple of weeks ago. We got one day of rain, and that took them up part of the way, and then that raised the level to about halfway up them, or fairly near the top.
Yes.
Which I think we've got another image showing that.
That we have it there now.
Aye, so
look,
there you are. It's heading upwards.
Yes, it is.
And then, of course, in the last week, we've had some very, very heavy rain.
Absolutely.
And that really proved the point, because the whole purpose of the exercise is that if we put gates in there, there'll only be half-height gates.
Yes.
Because of the flooding risk.
Yeah.
But the gates would be closed in the summer, and the worst-case scenario is the water would build up behind them to a height of 3 feet, because they'll only be 3 feet high. And so the summertime the levels are low. You might get a sudden heavy downpour for 2 days.
Yes.
The level will rise.
Yes.
It will then go over the top of the gates, which I think is shown in the next picture there.
You got it there, Andy. Yes.
Flowing over the top.
Running over the top. Yeah.
And this didn't cause any flooding inland. So we've proved what we set out to do. Is that if a sudden downpour in the summer, even if the sluices get jammed solid, and it goes over the top of the gates, it will not flood any farmers' fields.
So we're fine on flooding.
We are indeed. We're very, very happy to see that. And it was all done so, I mean, it could have, if we had gradual rain over the winter, it'd been a hard thing to prove.
Yeah.
But we have been able to prove it now. So actually now the dams, their job's done, and we're going to dismantle them.
And 3 feet of water, whenever it comes, will allow us the opportunity to have canoes and rowing boats and the like there.
Yes, indeed. There's a wee bit needs dredged up at the very top.
Yeah.
Because the water level is level all the way through for 4 miles now.
Yes.
At the moment.
And that's 4 miles that we'll be able to traverse in a small boat.
Yes. There's about 100 yards of it. Would need a wee bit taken out, like 3 or 4 inches taken out to get you to float properly.
I'll have my punt and my pole and my wicker sandwich basket and my woman in lovely flowing. Yes. Wow, yes.
But you'll have to wait till we've cut a few limbs off the trees. If you're going to be on a punt, you wouldn't last very long, because some of it's you would just be swiped off the back end.
I remember a couple of years ago, I had a dry suit. And I went in to rescue a swan who was trapped over in bushes, which it was only 3 or 4 feet of water in the place, but it was cold. It was winter time. But I suddenly realized it was colder than I thought I ought to have been. There's a hole in the goddamn suit, and that was the big problem. I got very, very cold indeed. But we rescued the swan and got it sorted out.
It's a horrible feeling. We're using neoprene waders at the moment, and of course I've got a pinhole in mine, and after a couple of hours, especially the deeper the water, the more it gets into you. It's a horrible feeling to have a soggy right foot. There's no doubt about it. So we're very pleased with this, Rowan.
So that's a project, an achievement.
Yes. But now then we want to get the gates in at that lock and the one at Points Pass.
How will you get the gates made?
Well, we're looking at various... The Waterways Ireland type construction is a steel centre and wood surrounds.
Yeah.
Now they're very expensive.
Yeah.
The next alternative are all steel ones, basically like there are at the first lock, at the Wynn Riley's lock. And that seems to be working out to the easiest to construct. And then the other ones would be all wooden gates. Now we have to discuss these possibilities with the Environment Agency, Built Heritage, to see what they would like us to do.
Think.
But we've been costing them, and we think that now we intend to manufacture these gates ourselves. We weren't going to.
But sure, why wouldn't you? You've built a boat that has taken you around the world in steel.
But it's time, Rowan. It's time. You know, I thought it took me 2 years of full-time work, 50 hours a week for several of us, not just me. You know. But these gates. We were pricing them around about 60,000 for the 4 leaves. You see, ready-made and fitted for us. And we'd hope there'd be grants available. But this is the old story. You end up with so much paperwork and so much hassle that actually we've sat in meetings with Decal, 2 of them so far, and really you sit there and say, we could do those ourselves for a lot less hassle and a lot less money. So now, if it's steel, the pricing seems to be between £4,500 and £5,000, and doing it ourselves.
That's doable.
Oh, that is definitely doable. Yes, indeed. And even in timber, the price is actually very similar, but harder work because we're not so much on the woodwork side as we would be on the steel work. As you say,
unless it has to be said, unless you're getting the right timber.
Oh yes. Yes,
you're in trouble.
Yes, we it has to be either oak or stuff called eckie. That's all you can use. Eckie is too hard to work with. So we'll be going for oak.
Oak would be the job there. Now let's go towards the middle bank from Newry down to the locks, and then there will be a distance on from there. You know?
Aye.
So what's happening there?
Well, the council have applied for a grant to get match funding for opening up that middle bank, and we've always been fully behind it, right from it was first mentioned by Dundalk Cycling Club. So Cycling Alliance, Dundalk Cycling Alliance, they gave a presentation to the Canal User Group about a year ago, maybe longer now, and we were fully behind it at that time as well. And we've now been asked, we were asked a couple of weeks ago to give a letter of support to the council. To show a community group who are supporting
that's, you know, that's at the heart of what's occurring here, because you're pushing the boundary all the time here. You're getting the authorities to do what they've been frightened to do over the time I have known it, and they've always sort of said, "Oh no, it'll not end." But you've done the work of investigation, of research, and of making it clear that there isn't a problem.
Well, the Middle Bank project is not ours. We've only we've sent a letter of support in. You know,
I understand.
But now on this side of Riley's Lock, we're having trouble getting the bottom gates to work because of the amount of debris. And I have asked the council to clear the section of canal from the barrier at the Wyn up to the lock.
I rather think they'll do that.
I would like to think so, but of course we're in a terrible hurry. So I've got a permit from the locks agency that's just coming through. So we'll clear 5 metres immediately below the lock, and that will mean we'll be able to get that lock operational.
That's great.
And so we hope to get that done in the next 6 or 8 weeks.
That's unbelievable. Well done. And it's that kind of commitment that's making the difference. Was it Gandhi who said, when asked, how do you eat an elephant? one bite at a time.
Yes, indeed.
That's how you're opening the canal.
That is exactly what we're at, you know.
Bit by bit. And then it'll reach a point, a zenith, when people will look at it and say, wow, the king is not naked. He is clothed.
Well, we hope that, Ron. We hope it won't be the reverse. They say, why have they bother putting water in that?
No, it shan't be that.
I don't think so. I can't see that.
It's exciting beyond definition. And for me, exciting beyond definition was the arrival of the narrow boat from London in the Newry Canal, and a woman who wanted to set up a business. Now, if you have any contact with council, just listen carefully to this next bit, because we need your help. This woman she was coming over, Lorraine, and she wanted to open her place, but the boat she's taken over at her own expense. It's in the canal, ready to do its business, and she thought she might open up for Halloween, a temporary license.
Yes.
But the authorities have not been willing to give her the license.
Well, the problem seems to for start off, as far as I know, environmental health have been round, so that's not the problem.
So it's okay?
Yes, it's a trading license is what the problem seems to be.
A trading license?
Yes, that obviously for anybody doing any sort of street trading, public trading in the city needs a license. And so she applied for one. And
the council were very sensible, because they reduced an extraordinary figure for a license down to a manageable figure. So well done, council.
That was a silly figure. I was on it before, you know, for the type of setups that people are talking about today. She went to the council, and actually originally she says she was led to believe that she would get a temporary license for Halloween. But now, you know where the boat's tied up at the quays.
I do, surely.
But she's now been told that that isn't an area that the council presently issue licences on. And so therefore they can't issue a licence.
So that means that this woman has brought her boat over. She's been encouraged to so do. She's tied up at the quays, ready to go,
Yes.
cleared by environmental health, but she will never be able to trade.
Well, not until the council change. I don't know what remit they have to change to make that an area where they can issue licences. But I don't know what's involved, because we only got a letter from her
going
yesterday.
on there already.
Yes.
To my best knowledge, there's a boat, a big sailing boat down there. Yeah. They've been plying the waterway with people. I think people may have been paying.
Oh yeah, well I mean, there's certainly the last time I was down, there's an advert up on the side, trips up and down the canal of $5.
Yeah, so there's trading going on
and
there.
During the flower it was used, and then to a certain extent years ago we took paying people on board our boat at that, with the boarded at that point, and we took them.
So the precedent
abroad,
is there for trading.
Yeah. But I mean, it's only a temporary permit. She realises that in the long term something will have to get sorted out. No remit of the council, it doesn't cover that. But surely she can get issued with a temporary licence for whatever it is, a day, 2 days, 3 days, and as long as it's made clear to her that it's only a temporary licence. She's not got a problem with it. But it's been said, Rowan, that the whole thing is she went about it wrong.
Oh, sure.
She went and asked the council. Whereas if she'd opened her doors and started trading, she would not have been stopped. Who would have come down to stop her?
Yeah.
Which department of the council would have come down to stop her?
Been a while figuring that out.
They would have been a long time.
Well, I know, now let me say, I know the council people, and I know Edwin Curtis there, son of Newry. His father traded on the banks of the canal. His garage was there on Francis Street. My own father's place was on Francis Street too. And Edwin Curtis is a good man of civic pride, and he's getting things done. And well done to you, Edwin. So maybe you would take a personal interest in this, because it's what you want to see and what I want to see and what the people of the area want to see. And I rather think this is an administrative hiccup that can be sorted out for Halloween.
But the trouble is the time scales. You always get this, it is some department and they aren't having a meeting or something like this is what the problems will be. But surely somebody can issue this poor woman with a licence for 2 or 3 days so she can trade and get something back. I mean, she forked out thousands of pounds
to bring it over on board the sea truck coming over from England at her own cost.
Yes.
And all she wants to do is to sell sandwiches and coffee. And she'll pay for whatever temporary licence that she has to get, and it'll be good. No, I'd be confident that Newry and Mourne Council and Edwin in particular will be keen to do something.
I think so as well. I mean, as I say, we were only made aware of this yesterday. And we've written a letter of support to her, and I'm going to contact some councillors. She's going to contact some councillors, and probably the papers.
Well, we wish you well.
Oh, I hope she gets it all right.
Absolutely.
Because it'd be a shame.
I'll write about it in my column in the Democrat next week.
Very good. Yes.
It will, because I don't think there's any ill will towards her.
No,
whatsoever,
no, definitely not.
Because it's a lovely thing to see. It's the thing we've been dreaming about for years.
It is.
That we'd have trading going on there, whatever.
There's just to go aside, there's talk of another barge coming in.
Really?
Yes, a broad beam one this time.
Is that Mr. Courtney's?
No, not for trading. Sorry, a private one.
Wow.
Yes.
What's that about?
I'm not saying a lot at the moment because the gentleman concerned hasn't finally decided, but he's been in touch with us over the last fortnight, and he's joined the branch.
Yeah.
And so we're having a discussion about exactly what he wants.
If a fellow wanted to put, maybe you don't know the answer to this, but maybe it's certainly a debate that should be opened up. If houseboats with people living on board can exist on the king of rivers of Britain, the Thames,
yes.
Why can we not have houseboats for people living on board on the Newry Ship Canal?
I see no reason, but you have to ask the council. They're the ones. I believe that at the moment you're not supposed to live on board your boat at the Albert Basin.
Well, really, as we go forward, we need to catch up, don't we?
Oh yes, definitely do.
With London and to do the thing right.
Yes.
And the living on board, there'll be a rent to pay, whatever.
Oh,
Actually, I wouldn't mind testing something here, because I believe I have rights of residency on the canal that I can prove in a court of law.
I think
and
that
there's one other man has the same rights.
Yes.
Pater Markey.
Aye.
Because Pater Markey, his boat was there in the canal. Rowan Hand's boat was there in the canal. at the time the council acquired ownership. And we have been there as residents in all the time since. And my mooring lies at the bottom of the canal, ready for lifting whenever I want.
Yeah.
It'd be an interesting one to test that.
It would be, yes. I know a friend got that sorted out on the River Coil.
Yes.
Where he has a permanent mooring on the River Coil.
Yeah.
Prior to the barrage going up, he had a mooring.
Yeah, it's well worth
So,
well
but
worth
that's over
looking at.
Downpatrick area. Yeah.
But we wish the council and its canal the very, very best of good luck in what they're doing.
And the other thing that's just, we're talking about canal boats, you know the way they're all fancy painted up with little roses and things?
Yeah.
Well, we have a guy who approached us when we were at the blacksmiths at Moneypenny's a couple of weeks ago, and he does that.
Wow, we have an artisan.
And indeed. Now, he's not from this area, he's from over the Downpatrick area, but he's very interested in possibly renovating Lorraine's boat on the outside with the fancy paintwork.
Lovely.
And also we've approached this other guy if he wants his done, because his is just painted black, I think, like I would paint a boat.
Yeah.
So this guy wants to do brush graining and all little roses, and he sent us some of the photographs of the chairs and the milk churns you see on the English boats.
Yeah.
So that's marvellous to see.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Peter Maxwell, thank you very much indeed.
God
bless you. Always good. We give a good clash there, which is always good. Music, sir.